My own view is that whether they ran out of friends or things to do in America, which, hang on a minute, it can't be that bad living in the size mansion they do, and they've still got quite a bit of cash to make life worth living. So it isn't that bad a story. So I haven't got a great deal of sympathy for them. But I do appreciate that he, as I said to you, a prince of the realm, and up and just prior to Brexit, Megxit rather, he was more popular than the Queen. So, this guy is quite important. He has a personality, he has a style that's so unique that quite frankly, he thought he could do 6 months in and 6 months out. It hasn't worked out like that because the Queen wouldn't allow that. But he's still got something to offer. It's a question of how he puts it together with his wife and family to see if he can achieve some sort of comeback. Let's look at the King and Queen at the moment, both now in their late 70s. William and Kate seem not to be at it at the moment for probably good reason. So is there a slot for him? I don't know.
No.
I think we've got to wait and see what happens, because the answer is, I don't know. But going back to these fallouts within their household, as I said, this happens. It happens in any big unit. Particularly it happened in my time with the Prince of Wales office and the Prince's office as it was then. So I don't see anything unusual about that, where people making statements to the media, what some good, some bad.
When you worked, or when you're in Kensington Palace, or when you worked with Princess Diana, what was the kind of atmosphere because there was a War of the Waleses at that stage as well, wasn't there? What was the atmosphere working with Diana when she was seeing critical stories in the newspaper, then positive stories in the newspaper? Because look, Harry is Diana's son, so he's going to have certain traits that his mother had. How did she react to both negative and positive press?
Well, during the mid-'80s, the press coverage of Diana was highly positive. It was only when the media got wind of the real story surrounding her and the introduction of Camilla, etc., that the storyline changed. So there was a lot of truth, a lot of untruth in that. Diana dealt with that remarkably well. I have to say that, given the unhappiness of her marriage at that time, to perform on a daily basis with the public was not easy. And so, yeah, she did deal with it. And I think, that's part of being royal. The royal family themselves have had to do this with all the accusations, particularly with the late Duke of Edinburgh, etc., and even the King himself now. I think they're very good at adapting to it, dealing with it and moving on. And I think Harry has to do the same, and he will do. There's no question of that.
Do you see... talk about, I just mentioned there, obviously, Harry is Diana's son. They must have certain traits. Do you see many similarities between Prince Harry and Princess Diana from when you knew her?
Do I see any similarities? I think, yes, they're both entertainers. Harry was always the court jester as a child.
Right.
Part of the problem with him and his brother was that William was somewhat jealous of his popularity. But like his mother, she'd like to be entertained. She'd like to be popular. I think this is what Harry, he was popular, certainly when he was here in the United Kingdom. And I think he still is now in America. For the negativeness that's come out of these last 2 articles, people will say that he's actually very fun to be with. He's very good in meetings. He's always mindful and careful of how he speaks to his staff, etc., which was a classic Diana. She was very generous. She was a gift-giving. Harry's exactly the same. This is how the Spencers, I think, operated. But I see similarities. I do see similarities.
Yeah, you mentioned the Spencers there, because obviously Harry spent a lot of time when he was over last. He was with Earl Spencer. Is that side of the family that he might start leaning on now, the Spencers?
Well, it was quite interesting, wasn't it, that he spent time with Earl Spencer, but that would be expected. We saw William, didn't we, when Lady Sarah McCorkindale was at that engagement alongside him at Cranwell a few days later. I think you were there. So I think the Spencers throughout history have always played both sides off against the middle when it comes to the crown.
Well, I think that, for me, I'll never forget Spencer's eulogy at Diana's funeral. That was barbed in so many ways. The Spencers, they're quite a close unit, despite, their history. But Charles Spencer, who,
Welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales, where we break down the latest narratives about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, exposing the hypocrisy and setting the record straight. If you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Today, we're addressing the latest remarks from Ken Wharfe, a former Royal Protection Officer who has decided to weigh in on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's life again. This time, in an interview with The Sun's royal editor Matt Wilkinson, Wharfe smugly declares that he has no sympathy for the Sussexes because, wait for it, they live in a mansion and have money. Oh, the horror. A tone-deaf dismissal Wharfe's misguided perspective. Ken Wharfe, Princess Diana's former bodyguard, recently made headlines with his dismissive comments about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's struggles. He suggested their financial security negated any pain or hardship they might have experienced. This view is not only insensitive, but also dangerously simplistic. It ignores the emotional and psychological toll of constant public scrutiny and media attacks. Wharfe's comments reveal a fundamental misunderstanding of the Sussexes' experiences. Diana, despite her wealth, faced relentless media intrusion and isolation. Her tragic story reminds us that money cannot shield from pain or buy happiness. Beyond the palace walls, a constant barrage of abuse. From the moment their relationship became public, Harry and Meghan faced relentless negativity. British tabloids targeted the couple with ferocity. Meghan in particular faced racist and sexist attacks. This abuse extended online. Social media became a breeding ground for hate speech. The negativity took a toll on their mental health. They felt unsupported and unprotected. Harry, haunted by his mother's loss, sought to protect his family. Their decision to step back was to reclaim their lives. Money can't buy happiness. The hollow ring of Wharfe's argument. Wharfe's argument that financial security somehow invalidates the Sussexes' struggles reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of mental health and the complexities of human experience. It perpetuates the harmful notion that wealth is a shield against emotional pain. This simplistic view ignores the very real trauma that can result from public humiliation, character assassination, and institutional betrayal. Money can provide comfort and security, but it cannot erase the psychological scars left by years of relentless attacks. It cannot buy peace of mind or silence the voices of critics who seem determined to paint the Sussexes as villains. The emotional toll of such negativity should not be underestimated. Furthermore, Wharfe's comments disregard the inherent strength and courage it took for Harry and Meghan to break free from a system that was failing them. Choosing to walk away from immense privilege and tradition is not a decision made lightly. It speaks volumes about the severity of their suffering and their determination to prioritize their well-being and that of their children. Section 4. Diana's Shadow, a haunting parallel ignored. What makes Wharfe's stance particularly perplexing is his first-hand experience witnessing the devastating impact of media scrutiny and institutional pressure on Princess Diana. He saw the toll it took on her mental and emotional health, the loneliness and despair that plagued her despite her wealth and status. Diana's story should serve as a cautionary tale, a reminder that even those with immense privilege are vulnerable to the corrosive effects of relentless public scrutiny and institutional betrayal. Sadly, Wharfe seems to have forgotten the lessons learned from his time protecting Diana. The parallels between Diana's experiences and those of Harry and Meghan are undeniable. Both faced relentless media intrusion, often fueled by fabricated stories and malicious gossip. Both felt isolated and unsupported within the royal institution, their concerns dismissed or minimized. Section 5. A legacy unfolding the Sussexes' undeniable impact. Despite the ongoing challenges, Harry and Meghan have refused to be defined by the negativity directed their way. They have emerged from this ordeal stronger and more determined to use their platform for good. Their charitable work continues to make a real difference in the world. Since stepping back from their royal roles, the Sussexes have launched Archwell, their non-profit organisation dedicated to uplifting communities and promoting positive change. They have partnered with organisations tackling issues ranging from mental health to racial justice. Their commitment to using their voices for good is unwavering. They have spoken out against racial injustice, championed mental health awareness, and advocated for gender equality. Their work has earned them international recognition and awards. Section 6. Shifting Sands. The inconsistency of media narratives. The media's portrayal of Harry and Meghan has been riddled with inconsistencies and double standards. One moment they are accused of being financially irresponsible, the next they are criticised for seeking financial independence. They are condemned for wanting privacy, yet their every move is scrutinised and splashed across headlines. This contradictory coverage highlights the deeply ingrained biases within certain sections of the media. It underscores the need for critical consumption of news and a nuanced understanding of the challenges faced by public figures. Despite the constant barrage of negativity, Harry and Meghan remain focused on their goals. They are building a life of purpose and meaning, one that prioritises their family, their values, and their commitment to making a positive impact on the world. Their resilience in the face of adversity is a testament to their strength and character. At the end of the day, Ken Wharfe's comments are just another example of a former royal insider trying to stay relevant by attacking Meghan and Harry. His lack of sympathy is neither surprising nor meaningful. The Sussexes continue to thrive, whether the British press likes it or not. What do you think about Ken Wharfe's remarks? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns on the latest royal narratives. Until next time, stay informed and stay critical of the nonsense.